So we're going on back to my best friends on Reddit. Yes, my Redditors. Question of the week from the Redditors themselves. If you want anything answered honestly, the raw truth that humanity has to offer, there is only one place on this planet that you can go to find the real, raw, unfiltered truth. And that, my friends, is Reddit. And the question this week, nurses of Reddit, despite being ranked the most trusted profession for 15 years in a row, make that 16, homie. What are the dirty secrets y'all never tell your patients? That is a great question. And oh my goodness, there were like 1,000 comments under the Ask Reddit. So I might do this part too, and this time I just have some five. I have five of my few favorites when I looked at just reading a little bit of it. Okay. So mascara_flakes says, I would much rather be doing the dressing changes and bathing my incapacitated sweet patient next door than getting you coffee and your 6th ice cream of the morning, you non-compliant fuckface. Preach, girl. So, see, that's the thing, right? As a nurse, we coming to work because we want to do patient care. We want to care for the patient. We want to educate the patient. We want to help with the patient's health. If you're asking me to do things like get the coffee, if you're asking me to do things like I want some crackers or put butter on my bread or help me clean up my room or call my sister from out of town or all of these things, and yes, it's helpful, and yes, we do it, and yes, it's part of the job, and yes, we want to be there for you. But understand, if you're that one patient that's calling every 10 minutes, every 5 minutes, every 1 second, it gets frustrating. When we need to do actual patient care and you're clicking that call bell, it is frustrating. But at the same time, on the patient side, I know for you, it's also extremely frustrating because I can't imagine being in a bed and having to click for everything I need. I know when I'm at home, I'm in the kitchen 6 times a day. I'm in the bathroom 12 times a day. I'm like getting up 15 times a day. And if we have a bed alarm on you, we can't blame you for wanting to do stuff. But these are our dirty secrets, all right? So I'm not gonna be apologizing for each one of these things, all right? All right? Let me just get through this, and this is my venting time. Let me be. Fact Nugget says, I worked as a director of nursing and also as a nursing case manager. Patients are often looked at as nothing more than currency in the world of healthcare administration. Patients are regularly discharged from hospitals prematurely due to concerns of the cost of care. This is serious. So this is a dirty secret that is actually serious. And I don't think it's too much of a dirty secret because we've come to know this. In the story right before this, I was screaming my lungs out because it's super frustrating when all we talk about when it comes to healthcare, all we talk about is the cost. We want quality of care. We want the patients to have the best outcomes in the world. Of course we do. Of course we do. Having a readmit is much worse than having a patient stay an extra day or two and then them feeling better and then going home and being healthy, right? We want the best for you, for the community. But at the same time, everything about healthcare runs on a budget, on a dime. So these things, at some point, at the patient care level, for most, I'd say 99% of the nurses that do actual patient care, it's like 80% about the patient care than 20 about the money. The higher up you go, the less patient care you do, the less interaction you have with the actual patients, the more about the money it becomes. Right? But it's not their fault. It's their job. It's the nurse manager's job. It's the nurse CNO's job to make sure that they're getting enough money in, as well as putting in to care for these patients, to keep the lights on, to keep the hospital running. So I'm not naive as to say we need to just spend $1 million on each patient until they get better, but this is just the reality of the situation. Moving on. Red Hat Oops says, my wife's a nurse. During the night shift, she talked about other nurses going and finding empty rooms and taking extended naps and shifts. It irked her since she has a solid work ethic, but she isn't the kind to speak up. I don't know why that irks her. So the thing is, it's like I worked night shift for a full month. And I know it gets extremely, especially if you're working on a unit where it's like mobile patients. They're good. They walkie-talkie. They do their own thing. If they're sleeping at night and from like 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. when they are absolutely sleeping, you have no meds to pass, there's nothing going on. Yeah, nurses fall asleep. Working the night shift ain't easy. So, are they supposed to sleep? No, but nurses also do get a break. And at the time I was at my job, where nurses were taking naps, they were taking naps during their break. So I don't know why that's an issue. I don't know why that's a problem. Maybe at my old job, nurses weren't going into empty patient rooms. I've never seen that. I think that's a little much. But at the same time, I don't blame them. If they get a 30, 45-minute break and they're working a 12-hour shift and it's overnight, go ahead and take your nap. Do you, boo-boo. Do you. And I love this one. I think this is one of my favorites. He-Mash says, if you are, and quote, dying because I hurt so bad, and then tell me your pain level's a 10, yet you're on your phone laughing and you're on Facebook, I am not sympathetic. You'll get your pain meds, of course you will, but it's gonna take a few extra minutes. And if I've got someone on the floor because with their blood sugar in the 30s, you're gonna wait a little bit longer. And don't even think about giving me a lecture on how to do my job. I am your nurse. I am here to take care of your ass, not to kiss it. I am not your slave. I am not your personal servant. I'm sure as hell not your maid. And don't tell me how your kid or your mom or your sister or your best friend is a nurse and they do things different. I do my job the way I was trained to do it. I've got 35 to 40 residents on any given night. It's just me. I love my job and I love my residents. But damn it, sometimes I want to scream. Ooh, girl, preach! Preach! Do you, boo-boo? Yes! So I'm pretty sure every single nurse has been in the situation where they have a patient where it's like, oh my God, I'm in 1,000, I'm in a 10 out of 10, I'm in a 20 out of 10 pain. It's the worst, it's the worst. You leave the room, you come back in like 5 minutes with the pain meds and they're chatting up with their sister, they're chatting up with their friend, they're chatting up, they're hanging out, they're walking around, they're on their laptops. It's like, you're not in 10 out of 10 pain. And if you are in 10 out of 10 pain, especially if I do bring the medication, don't start lecturing me. That is the absolute last thing you're about to do, homie. That's the last thing you're about to do. I think she said it beautifully. I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank you very much. And then last but not least, Damn Dog. He says, not really a dirty secret, but when you're naked in front of medical personnel, we don't care that you're naked. And literally 40 seconds after you're clothed or no longer in our presence, whichever happens first, we've forgotten what you look like naked. You only remember what people look like naked because you've seen a small number of naked people. We see naked people all the time, and yeah, whatever. That's a penis. There's boobs. Look at that anus. Stretch marks, fat folds, whatever. And I love that. And that's the truth. You gotta understand, that is the goddamn truth. We see so many naked people every single day. You have no idea. Yeah, so when we see you naked, it's like, I know it's awkward, and it is awkward. Like for me, it's awkward when I'm telling like one of my female patients, I need to put my telly on you. I need to look at your backside for nasal bed sores. We need to do a full body check. I have to put in a catheter. Yeah, it's awkward when I'm having that conversation. But literally the second it happens, I'm like, whatever. It's over. It's done. Who gives two shits, right? It's over.